Hi everyone, it's Lehman with Lace Covered Skies. I'm here today to do a video about, it's going to be the first of 3 videos, I believe. So this part 1 is going to be, well, they're all going to be about things that I include in my vintage retro journals. And this is something I always include. I call them something a little bit weird, but I do that just so that I remember to make them every time. I already started and I have them sitting in here in my glue press. So let's take them out. I call these bunk bed pockets. And I'm not sure if it's going to make sense, but I hope it does once I show you. So these have been sitting here from last night. I have glued them onto this pink cardstock and they're sitting in here waiting to be worked on. So they've been drying in here. Oh, I hope I don't miss any because that happens a lot. I leave things in here and then I just forget about them. Or not forget, but I miss them. So most of these are from the paper from that 1970s book, the book pages that are rather, like they're pretty brittle, but they're not too brittle, and they're pretty thick. So it ends up working out. But let me go ahead and show you. It ends up working out for book pages, but it's better for things like this. All right. So they're just long strips of paper. And I have one of the journals here. Well, I have all the journals here. If you could see the mess on my desk right now, I'll show you at the end of the video. It's like the Leaning Tower of, what is it? All right, so this is one of the books, and all of my journals are going to be different sizes. So these strips need to correlate with the size of the book, the height of the book. So I made some. I believe this is for this book, this journal. And the reason why it's called bunk bed pockets is that it will go inside of a journal. And it is, once I added this paper, it's a little bit long, so I will need to cut it down. But I sew it on like this, and then I sew a line across like this so that there's a pocket on the top and a pocket on the bottom. And that's why I call it bunk bed pockets. But I really call it that just so I remember to put it in these journals. But let me go ahead and show you the different ones. These illustrations turned out great. Or maybe, no, I think I have one journal that's shorter than the other ones, and you guys are going to get a sneak peek right here. It's this one. Oh yeah, so this is for that. So there's that. I love this image. There's this one. This is from a 70s magazine. Love these pinks and blues. It goes great with the pink cardstock that I always use. But yeah, so we're going to make some more. And when I sewed into the page itself, I will first sew all the way around. And then I'll go back and I'll sew it into the book. Or what I might end up doing is gluing it on the top, the side, and the bottom, and then just sewing a line across. So I'll decide later how I'm gonna do that. But for now, I want to make some more. So I have this little folder. I'm trying to stay organized. It's not really working, but of pages in here that will end up going into these journals. It's kind of like a gathering place because it's an absolute mess right now. But I have these pages, and these are from a book that I didn't realize how much I liked it until I started going through it and started cutting it up. And I wasn't gonna cut it at one point because it's just so pretty, this book, and it's from like the 40s. But I was like, I bought this for this purpose, so I might as well use it. And the cover of it is actually going to turn into a journal, and this is the cover. It just has like some embossing, a pair of scissors, like a spool of thread maybe. I can't really tell, but this is a book that this came from, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is, because some of the width is cut off, but it was from the 40s. And I'm going to show you a few pictures. The images are just, they're gorgeous. The paper is really thick. I like that it's off-white. So pretty. So I'm being brave, and I am going to use these pages. Really pretty. So I'm making 6 journals. So I'm going to need 1, and we're making the bunk bed pockets out of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's too bad that this one is on the opposite side of this one. But the first thing I am going to do, so this isn't going to be like a completely full tutorial, but you guys are going to see a lot of the steps, and it's going to run into the next video, part 2 of this. So I'll show you how I finish this when I go on to the next thing that I show you, that is included in all my junk journals, my vintage retro junk journals. All right, so I usually make these 2.5 inches wide, and this picture is a little bit bigger than that, but we might just go with that because they're so pretty. So I'm going to cut down it's like exactly on the blue line here. That was not on purpose, because I would never be able to do that on purpose. Well, I did it again. All right, and I was assuming that the margin is the same, so it's a little bit off, but that's fine. So there's 2 of those. And I really like the font of this. So I'm going to need to figure out what I'm going to do with those. I might use that to reinforce some pages. All right, so let's see. So there's those two, and all right. Now, I am going to cut them to the right height. So, all right, let's just go in order. I need one. One of the journals is 10 inches high. So this will work. Actually, I'm just going to take off the bottom just because when I add on the pink cardstock, it makes it too long. So it's an inch shorter than 10 inches. I think that's going to work. I'm going to make them an inch shorter than what they need to be. So let's take these two and I'm going to go ahead and cut off the bottom. The next two books, or the next two journals, will be 9.25 inches. So I am going to make this, I'm just going to take off the bottom first. If they're 9.25, then I need 8.25. And this is 9 inches. So I'm going to just go above the number right there. The height of the journal is going to go up to here, so if I leave that much room, that should be fine. So that's the 9.25. Now I have two that are going to be 8.5. If they're going to be 8.5, then I need to cut this down to be 7.5. Sorry if that's confusing, but I think if you have any questions, let me know. This one needs to total 7 point. Well, that's really short. Because from here to here is 8. 7.5 would be right above her head. I can do that. But let's see the other side. Yeah, that'll work. So I'm going to shorten the bottom. And then I am going to take off right past her head. That's a little too close for comfort. So there. All right, now this last one is going to be, it needs to end up being, let's say 7. So we'll go ahead and first I think I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. And we need it to end up being 7. And I've given myself a little bit of leeway. So it doesn't need to be super exact. All right. I think this would be a cool piece for collaging, so I'll save it. Okay, this might come as a shock to some crafters, but I don't save every single scrap anymore. I've just been overrun by scraps, and I do a lot of collaging for some of my journals, but it was like getting out of hand. All right, so for the shorter ones, see, I really try to work with my paper. I mean, these are a little bit wide, the images themselves, so I don't think I can really chop off much. But I really like to try and fit it into, because it's just missing a little piece. Because I could make this a little thinner, and I could make that side thinner. I think I will try to do that because I don't know, would it look nice really wide? These are such pretty images. I think I'm going to have to use the rest of the images. I mean, it's a thick book. At least a few hundred pages with lots of drawings. But I think I'm going to have to use a lot of them for covers because they really deserve to be on the cover. Right, I don't think it's going to fit, but let me just trim off. And I'm just going to sacrifice this side a little bit more and make it a little bit thinner. All right, that should hopefully work. Let's just check it really fast. I mean, it is just barely enough, but I think that'll be fine. So let me go ahead and mark. That's really cutting it close. All right. See, this is gonna have to go that way. And I think I'm going to trim it shorter. All right. So let's mark these. I'm going to make this a tiny bit shorter as well. And this one too. All right. Okay. So it'll mount on like this. Super cute. The colors go pretty well with it. Better than I thought it would. This looks nice with it as well. And this one. This pink cardstock is really, it suits a lot of these retro images. All right, so this is going to be a little bit riskier because it has a very thin margin. So let's hope. Okay, this one turned out good. even though orange and pink I don't think necessarily go together, but I think it looks great. Something about these types of drawings. All right, so that's a little bit of a thinner margin, but it works well. And this one's really cutting it close, but I think it's fine. So let me go ahead and trim the length of it, or the height. This might be my favorite book. It's just so pretty. I mean, this should be on the cover of something. And this. All right, but the next thing I'm going to do is just glue all of these. And so let me go ahead. I'll do one on here with you guys. And then hopefully by the next time that I'm back on here, I will have moved on a few steps past this. All right. I need to use my glue sticks more because I came across some that I bought maybe a year and a half ago that changed colors. So I need to, and it was my favorite glue stick. I had 3 of them. So I need to use them all up before I buy new ones. So I guess it's a good thing that I'm working on the glue books, even though I've been using, turn this over. I've been using like wet glue, but that's just for the background pages. So I'm definitely going to be using glue sticks for the focal images. Let me just roll this. All right, and they don't need to be super glued down because I will be sewing around edges and things like that. But yeah, so let me know if you liked this video by giving me a thumbs up down below. If you're not already, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be hopefully finishing up these retro journals pretty soon. I know I take a really long time on journals, but I guess that's just my method right now. But thank you so much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye everyone.